Having adversity is actually a great thing. It means that you're in a season of growth where you're going through something where you feel like you're getting your ass kicked, but really you're growing, you're being pulled and stretched into the better, bigger version of yourself. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the From Boys to Men show, brought to you by the Squire Program. We got a really good episode today, man, because we're going to talk about the importance of adversity and why it's so important to have it, especially as a man. Really, people in general should have adversity and need adversity to grow and get to the next level. But as a man specifically, man, like there's something about a man having to go through very difficult times to be able to now get over that hump, over that hill, and then now he levels up and he's a new person on the end of that experience. Something so beautiful about that, man. But it doesn't feel beautiful when you're going through it. I promise you it doesn't feel beautiful when you're going through it. However, if you can change your perspective on it and you can learn to enjoy that process, that painful process, I'm telling you, man, you'll be a better person from it every single time. So anyways, man, I want you guys to realize that having adversity is actually a great thing. It means that you're in a season of growth where you're going through something where you feel like you're getting your ass kicked, but really you're growing, you're being pulled and stretched into the better, bigger version of yourself. And an example I have is in 2019, I believe it was April of 2019. April was probably the worst month of my entire life, man. Like I literally was getting my ass kicked by life, bro. Like just over and over and over again, man. So the first thing that happened was, at the time, me and my wife were 24. We were living at my mom's house still. And came to a point where my mom and my wife were not getting along. That's something that I would never wish on my greatest enemy, that your wife and your mom do not get along. It's not fun. I promise you that, especially when you're an only child. I'm my mom's only boy. There's a whole baby thing trying to protect me. And then my wife is obviously like, well, that's my man. Like I can do what I want, say what I want, whatever. I don't wish that on my greatest enemy. So I'll just preface it by saying that. Now, so that's the first thing. My wife and mom are not getting along. They're actually arguing. They're not seeing eye to eye. And now we're in a position where we need to find a new place to stay. I'm young. My business is not taking off the way that I'd like it to. So I don't have the money to do that. So I'm stressed about that. Now, the next week after that, while I'm still trying to find a place to stay, find ways to make more money, I'm going through that. The next week later, something's going on with my car. My father-in-law is going to work on my car for me. He says, hey, because he's really good with cars. So he said, hey, leave it here, man. Leave it here. And then just use my car and drive it around for the day. I'll have it done by tomorrow. I'm like, cool, man. Thanks so much. Now he has a really nice Audi. And he, like I just said, he loves working on cars. He's very good with cars. So he just pimped out this Audi, made all this new stuff. He installed all these new, things. He's showing me about the different lights that he put in. And then he shows me the things where you open the car door and the Audi logos on the ground. He showed me the system he just installed, all this stuff, man. He just put new tires on. Like he hooked it up and he's proud of it. He's excited. He's like, man, check this out. Look what I did, right? I'm like, cool, this is gangster. I'm about to be driving this. Let's go. So he gives me the keys. I get in the car. I literally drove out of the place, right? And I literally drove 2 stoplights away from the house. Now I'm on my phone while I got my hand on the wheel. I'm kind of looking up by the light to see like when it's going to turn green. I'm the first light at the intersection. I mean, the first car in the intersection, right? So I'm at the light waiting, trying to get my Bluetooth set up so I can listen to music. And then boom, I get freaking nailed from behind, man. The car behind me rear-ended me super hard, pushed me into the middle of the intersection. And so now I'm sitting there and I'm just like shocked. And I look in the rear view to see like, what the hell happened? And I just see headlights behind me. I get out of the car. There's a pedestrian that was on a bike. He says, man, I saw the whole thing. Are you okay? I already called the cops. I'm like, man, thank you so much for doing that. I'm good. I'm just going to wait until the cops get here. So I look around the back and the girl that hit me, her whole hood of her car, it looks like the freaking letter A. It's just like a mountain, like whoop, whoop. You can't even see out of the car, dude. She hit me hard, man. Her whole hood is bent. And she stumbles out of the car. She drunk as hell. She was slizzard. You heard me? She was on that 40. She was on that, man. She was having a good night until that happened. And so obviously I'm upset. The cops pull up. They handle the situation. But that's the second thing that happened. Get in a car accident and not my car, which means I wasn't insured. I wasn't one of the people that was supposed to be driving the car. So I got to deal with that, right? Then on top of that, I'm at work. This is when I'm still working at Men's Warehouse. And my wife hits me up with the we need to talk when you get home text. I'm like, man, damn. But I'm gonna be honest, guys, I wasn't really stressed out because usually when my wife tells me that, I get back home, it's something really dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's like she tells me, hey, we need to talk. And I'm like stressed out the whole time while I'm at work. I come home and she's like, hey, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Hey, what do you want? Where's the remote? Did you find the TV remote? I'm like, bro, why you gonna text me with the we gotta talk the three ... afterwards and then come home and ask me if I want Panda Express? You know I want some Panda Express. Let's get it. So anyways, I'm like not really sweating it. I'm like, okay, let's go home. Let's see what's up, right? I go home, and this was the first time that she actually had a reason to tell me or text me in that way, that really suspenseful way. She looks nervous and she looks at me and she goes, I'm pregnant. I'm like, damn. Like, man, I'm like, bro, like I said, we just moved out. We got our first apartment. I'm barely scraping along, being able to pay for that. My wife tells me she's pregnant. We're young and financially not in the place to be able to support and take care of a baby. So I'm just like, and me as the man, I have an extra burden. Like I have the brunt of the responsibility when it comes to that. Nobody's going to be looking at my wife to be like, hey, well, you got to make more money. They're going to be looking at me, which I get it. That's part of being a man. But I'm thinking about all these things and I'm like, bro, I don't have the money to take care of that, right? So my whole point in saying this, man, is when it rains, it pours. Adversity actually is good for you in the moment, bro. I was just like exhausted, man. I was getting my ass beat every single week. It was this big event happening just over and over, man, just freaking getting beat up. And it got to a point where I had to realize, you know what, man, like this is not happening to me. It's happening for me, right? This is really a good thing. Let me change my perspective. Let me try to change my perspective on this and actually try and look at it as a learning lesson, right? And when I changed my perspective, it kind of helped me a little bit to kind of weather the storm and be able to get through it. Now, I want you guys to understand when you're watching this episode that you might be going through something similar. You might be going through a season of growth, as I like to call it, where you're going through an immense amount of adversity. You don't really know what to do. You don't know where to turn. You want to make it stop, but you don't really have any option. You don't know up from down. You're just drowning. You're underwater, just getting tossed, right? Let me tell you, you're experiencing two things. Number one is you're being pulled and stretched into this new level. Therefore, your ability to handle certain adversity grows, right? So you're being pulled and stretched in different areas. So that way you can grow into the new 2.0 version of yourself. If you didn't go through this kind of adversity, it's impossible to grow. Like you can't. It's impossible. You have to go through this metamorphosis type change where you go into the cocoon as a little ugly beat up caterpillar, chill in there for a little bit, weather the storm, get shaken up, whatever. And then when you come out, you're a butterfly and like, boom, I'm the new me. You have to go through that. You can't go through, nothing and expect to become better. It just doesn't work that way. The second thing you're experiencing is you're experiencing the law of polarity, which is the law of opposites, right? Up versus down, North Pole versus South Pole, positive versus negative. The law of polarity is in everything, right? So when life is really good, when you're having a great time, when everything's positive and fun, and man, I'm making the most money I've ever made before, I'm killing it, like I have no stress in the world, there's a down, bro. There's an opposite. You know what I'm saying? There's a winning season and there's a losing season. You should be mindful and understand that neither one of them lasts forever, right? Winning season, you're killing it. Great for you, bro. Understand it's not going to last forever. You're going to have a downswing as well. Life's going to kick you in the butt again, and you're going to have to go through losing season. But understand that you're not going to stay in that losing season forever. So law of polarity, you're experiencing both. It's the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys, right? You wouldn't enjoy the peaks of life if you didn't experience the valleys. So you see, adversity is a good thing, man. It really is a good thing. You have to shift your mind to think about it in a positive way, right? Because adversity is teaching you how to, make you stronger, more resilient. It's helping you develop new skills, because if you're in a situation where something is just extremely difficult, you have all this force and this pressure making you feel like tight and just like you're stuck, you're going to have to get smart and use your mind to change how you look at certain situations, how you can develop new solutions to get out of that situation. And so it's helping you develop new skills. Another example I have for you guys, man, this is actually a story I've never shared on anything. Actually, my wife doesn't even know this story. So if she's watching this, babe, I'm telling you for the first time. So this was last year, guys. I want you to understand, this was literally last year, 2022, when this happened. And I was basically just like in the worst position financially I've ever been in my entire life. Not that I was making less money than I was used to, but it was because my life was continuing to have more responsibilities put on. So I was still making the same amount of money, but having more responsibilities put on. I have my wife to take care of. That's nothing new. I have my daughter to take care of. Nothing new, because now I'm used to that. However, now I have another daughter who was just born at the time, about 4 months old. And now I have 3 mouths to feed, really 4 with myself, but I have to feed myself, my wife, and my 2 daughters. And we have the apartment. So I just, that was a new apartment we were just in. So I have to pay for that, which is another extra grand, a couple grand a month. Right. And so there's a lot of things that are changing financially for me that I need to make more money for, but I'm still steady making the same amount of money. You can obviously understand how you're going to run into problems. I literally didn't have enough money to pay for my newborn baby's doctor visit one day. Like literally, we went to the pediatrician for my newborn daughter's just a little checkup, a little physical. But the thing that happened was, because I just turned 26, I was no longer on my mom's insurance. My mom used to work at LACUSC Medical Center. She was the house supervisor there. She had the best insurance ever, which, me being on her plan, I got the best insurance ever. And then that means my daughters could benefit from that as well, because she can put her grandchildren on that plan as well. So we had the best insurance. It was like, great price and all that stuff. So we got hooked up. However, you turn 26, if you guys didn't know, you get kicked off. Your parents can no longer help you when it comes to that. So now I'm having to pay for that. I'm going through the process of getting my own insurance, but I don't yet have it yet. So now I'm having to pay just out of pocket. I didn't realize how expensive it was going to be for a visit. But regardless of the visit, even if the visit was $10, I couldn't afford it. Because we pull up to the place and I'm checking my Bank of America account and I'm like, hella low. Like I literally I'm negative $20 in my account. I got an apartment to pay for, that the rent's coming up, have to take care of my wife, have to take care of my 3-year-old daughter at the time. Maybe she was 2.5 at the time, somewhere around there, 2.5, 3 years old. And then I have a newborn that was just born. So I have to take care of all these mouths and I don't have any money. What am I going to do? I literally didn't have enough money to pay for the appointment. So I had to make up a lie and tell my wife, I said, hey, I got to go home real quick. We're at the doctor's appointment, right? We're at the pediatrician. I said, I got to go home real quick. She says, why? I was like, well, because we left her immunization card at home and they're not going to be able to give her a shot if we don't get the card. She's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, right? I tried to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I had to zip back home and I had to run into the safe. We had a safe at home and I literally had $300 in that safe. And it wasn't even, actually it was ours, but it wasn't supposed to be for the doctor's appointment. My father-in-law gave us $300. I can't remember what it was for, but he gave it to us to buy something. I literally had to use that $300 to pay for the doctor's visit. It came out to like $120 for the doctor's visit. And I didn't have that money. So I had to use my father-in-law's money that he gave to us to buy something else for that doctor's visit because I couldn't pay for it. And so that was, man, probably one of the lowest points I've ever felt in my life, man, as a father, as a husband, because I'm supposed to be the king of the castle. I'm supposed to be helping provide. I'm supposed to protect them. I'm supposed to do all these different things. And I'm financially not in a position to do that. And so I'm stressed out. I'm struggling. I'm like, man, I just need a break. I need to break through, man. And so I'm in the deepest valley possible. Like I'm like deep in this hole, man. I don't know what to do. Like it's dark. I got freaking cobwebs coming out of my wallet, bro. I'm like looking at my wallet, open it up, freaking spider webs crawling out, dust. Every time I open my wallet, dust coming out. I'm like, bro, I have nothing, man. It's crazy. And the funny thing was, the interesting thing was, what the blessing came out of that was, I was just trying to work as hard as I could. I would sell things if I had to. I'd sell, different high-end fashion pieces that I had. I'd sell, skateboards that I keep on my wall, like signature skateboards. I'd sell those if I had to. I would sell whatever I could to just make it month by month and just make it happen and just do little odd jobs here and there. And I was doing, what's it called? I did freaking, not Uber. What's it called? What's the food one called, Ed? DoorDash, bro. I was doing DoorDash. I was doing everything, man, trying to just make money, scrape things out of the pot, like just whatever I could do. And I feel like God, the universe, looked down and said, you know what, man, I see that you're working hard. I can see you've gotten enough of getting that ass beat. You feel me? I'm going to throw you a break. You know what I'm saying? And that's when my mentor, Bedros, hits me up. He says, hey, man, I think I have an opportunity for you doing some social media stuff for me. I'm going to teach you sales. You can get commissions, this and that. And he helped me pull me out of that situation. But I say all that to say, man, that you can't experience the peaks of life if you don't experience the valleys of life as well. It's peaks and valleys. There's great times. There's not great times. But regardless, I would never change that last year, 2022, for anything, because I grew so much more than I ever thought I could ever grow in a specific amount of time. I literally grew I feel like I grew like 5 different levels because I was literally like forced. It was like a pressure cooker. It was like a diamond that's being it's not a diamond yet, but like a piece of coal, a stone that's being like pressed and forced and just heated up to like a degree where you can't withstand it. And then finally, boom, it cracks open and you got a nice diamond in there, man. And so you guys got to think about your situation like that too. You might be going through something like that right now, but understand that it's not going to last forever. You'll be all right. You're going to have enough swing. You're going to hockey stick and you're going to go to the top, man. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, man. Just like the video. You didn't have to engage with it, bro. Just like the video. You don't have to drop a comment unless you want to. You feel compelled to share your story or whatever you're going through or why you felt this was beneficial to you or what value it brought to you. Go for it. But if you could just help us get these numbers up with the likes, I appreciate it greatly. So thanks, man. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.